Hey, welcome back to another episode of Open Mic. Tonight is an interesting topic. I thought we'll go into the pillars of success, but there's also a little infomercial. Tonight is the one episode before the end of the season. So next Thursday we'll have the last episode, and we'll come back in September with a new format or new, not new, but you know, other people that will join our show. It's going to be an interesting one. And we started compiling it and trying to figure out how we're going to successfully bring everything all together. And I think we do have a path. So I'm your host, Ramsey Chiri. I'm a medium and a coach, spiritual coach, I was going to say. And with my co-host, Tanis Coughlin. Go ahead, Tanis.
Yep, Tanis from Twillo Lifestyle Community, Twillo Lifestyle Academy. And I am a Reiki Master, Crystal Master, Celtic Shamanic High Priestess, and a channel, as well as a Galactic Ambassador.
Awesome. So tonight, before we start, what was I going to say? Hola. I forgot. It will come back.
The guides will tell you.
It will come back. I didn't write it down. Usually I put a couple of notes on the side, but tonight I did not. I did not write it down. That's okay. So the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is an awesome book, actually. It was written a very, very long time ago. I don't remember when. And actually, I did not read when. It's sometimes in the early 1900s. Sometimes around there, and it got republished by Bob Proctor, and it talks about pillars of success. They're very simple. I can read the titles of the chapters, and we can close this meeting in 5 minutes.
Okay.
The pillars of success are desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, and persistence. So what I thought we can do tonight is that bring it up into, from a spiritual perspective, how can we move forward? Because the book was written and actually about getting rich, which is from a monetary value. But for me, it feels better to be rich from a wholesome life value. That's the whole idea of it all, because money comes and goes, and usually we never take anything with us, so it stays all behind, and it's useless at the end of the day. So we can talk a bit about desire, because of course, to start anything, you really want to do it. You can't just do something because. And actually, we do something. So I don't know about you, Tanis, but I've seen a lot of people that actually start something not because they actually desire it, not because they really want it, but it's like, oh yeah, let's go with the flow. Everybody's jumping the bandwagon of, I don't know, whatever it is. And then we'll all start doing the same thing because the energy around kind of makes us flow with that, and we kind of get drifted with the current without actually realizing what we want. So let's discuss that for a sec.
Okay. So I think that, it is about that sort of collective energy in a big way when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, it starts with peer pressure when we're kids, right?
Yes.
Because it's easier. There's no resistance
Mm-hmm.
in the collective energy. And so we learn at a very young age that if we do what everybody else is doing, it's easier. And
Correct.
we don't have to go against the flow. It's like trying to swim up a river if we're going the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
The trouble with that is that sometimes it's swimming upriver for us. So that's when there's this cognitive dissonance that happens. And we're caught in, okay, well, that's not really what my heart wants, but that's the easier way energetically. Or is it the easier way energetically? Because we have to live with ourselves. We don't have to live with everybody else. And so where do you make that differentiation? And I think that's a tough thing until you start doing your own healing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We tend to follow the majority, because not because it's easier, just because it's easier on the ego.
Yes.
Because if we're swimming against the current, then people are going to be looking at us. And then from that point is we have to explain why we're not on the same path as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get bullied. Somehow we get bullied. Trust me. I don't know.
Well,
Don't
judge,
trust me.
judge
Yeah.
at the very least, right? We fear judgment in a big way as humans, because that's, our ego does not like judgment. It likes to be right. And if we're being judged, it's like we're not right?
All the
People are judging
time.
us for being wrong. But what
I'm
is
never,
right and wrong?
I'm never wrong, eh? Unless I didn't get it right, but I'm never wrong.
Okay.
The beauty of it is that it is so easy to do what your heart desire if you just not look on to the other side, what our neighbor is doing, what social media is trying to push us to do, or the media in general. I'm not going to talk about social, but media in general is actually an energy blower. It kind of gears the energies towards certain things, because that's what we believe the masses want. But actually, the masses are a bunch of medias that pushes us towards a place. Although our heart does not desire that place, it's easier for us to float with it.
So sometimes, I think there is something to be said for, in terms of us not judging others, right? In terms of us saying, like, we don't want to say that everything the media is saying is wrong, right? So what we're saying is, if it's not right for you,
Correct.
then reevaluate.
Thank you
Right?
for
We're
the
not saying
clarification.
don't
Yeah.
follow media, or don't, it's about knowing what's right for you individually, as opposed to following a group. And it could be any group, right? It's about knowing what you need and what your heart wants you to do, as opposed to just following blindly. I think it's about that awareness. So, and that's part of what happens when we start our spiritual journey, right? We start to open up our awareness, and we ask those tough questions of ourselves when we're in that space. We're like, okay, so what does it really mean to me? Is it acceptance I'm looking for, or is it like heart peace? And if they're not the same, then that's when you step into that incongruence, right?
I'll add to that, which is a good point that you made, is that sometimes even the media or the current of the energy that is flowing can be a trigger for a desire that's been hidden within you to flourish.
Mm-hmm.
It might not flow in the same path, but it might be a trigger to take you to a place that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about myself, which the sprouting of spirituality throughout the past, I don't know, how long has it been? A long time. 10, 15 years, when it really started to build up and grow, it triggered something within me, which is something that it's not that I did not know that I had it. I knew that I had it. It's just I didn't know what to do with it. So going through that opened up my eyes to different aspects of it. And from there, I tried multiple modalities of them. And then I settled. I did not fail in any of them. I settled on the one that actually fits, rather than flowing with something that I did not really desire, but it really looked good on others. I hope I explained it well.
Yeah. So I think, like, for instance, but sometimes it's a stepping stone too for what you really need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, for me, Reiki was, I joke about Reiki being my gateway drug. And, if people are asking me what to do when they first start their journey, I do recommend a level 1 Reiki, even if it's not their path. but I find that it's a really good stepping stone that leads you to understanding energy and spirituality in a way that is very different from what the norm has been. And so there's like that sort of, and not everybody's going to go past that, but I do often recommend Reiki 1 training for people, because if I had my druthers, I'd have everybody trained in Reiki 1. Everybody would learn how to manage their energy, and we would all be much more balanced in our existence. But it's a stepping stone. So like you with the mediumship, right? When we talk about you stepping into that, because I'm thinking that's the example you're using, right? That you've done other stuff. So, all of the energy healing modality stuff that you took, even though the healer role is not necessarily, or that type of healer role, I should say, is not necessary, because mediumship is a healing, just to be very clear. That that type of healing role, like a hands-on healing, is not for everybody. But did you find, though, that when you were taking that it helped you to raise your vibration enough so that some of these other things started to come in for you?
Absolutely. It opens up a gateway to other, well, in my case, to mediumship. It opened up that gateway. It opened that up fast and quick and like open up wide doors, and then I shut them because I didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, oh, now what?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. It's like Homer. If I don't see
You're
it,
not
it
there.
doesn't
You're not
exist.
there.
And then it came back.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I know.
I remember a couple of times I would see something, and it was maybe somebody somebody being a ghost, that I was like, oh, I don't think I want to interact with that one. And I'd be like, pretend you don't see. And of course they hear your thoughts. So he's like, oh, you see me? Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
Nope. I'm not the droid you're looking for. So yeah. Yeah. And then he, of course, came over and started interacting, which you get used to after a while, but it is a little bit, okay. What do we do with this? When it starts?
You have to deal with it. Love you guys, but I have to step away. Hey, no problem. Hey, Estella.
Hi, Estella.
So, which brings me to the second topic, and I know we kind of might be jumping a bit fast, but it is the second one is faith. Now, once you decide on what you want to do, or not what you want to do, the path that you wanted to take, then faith comes into play. But to create that faith, you need a step before that. Actually, maybe one or two, I don't know.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah. One of the steps before that is auto-suggestion, which is just what we do in energy world, is that we create a vision. Or you can put it on a vision board, but a vision board, you put it on a piece of cardboard and you hang it somewhere where you can see it so that it reminds you. But you can also create an image and put it in your psyche, in your field, in your auric field, or whatever you want to call it. There are multiple, your little bubble. Once you put it over there and you access it on a regular basis, it charges it with so much energy that it creates that faith within you. Because you kind of know that you can do it. You're comfortable with the idea. You're comfortable with the picture. Listen, I was comfortable with being on Facebook Live, but let me tell you, it took me over 10 days after I recorded the first video to actually post it. I did visualize it. Everything was there. Everything is beautiful. I was able to get over all my humps and my insecurities and all my whatever it is. And I made a recording, and I didn't know what to do with it because there was this underlying fear of it's not good enough, it's not the right thing. I missed something. I misspoke. The topic is not good. I don't know. Because I went multiple ums. So
Wait, you mean you're human?
yeah,
And we do and we misspeak and we oh, you're human. Yeah, that's too bad.
yeah. Sorry for me.
Kidding, of course.
So, so charge it, and go with it. Don't stop because of insecurities or certain fears of other. Just keep on running with it, because it's one of the most beautiful thing you can do is by not stopping to answer. I don't want to say a silly question, but to answer to your fear and insecurities. That's what it is. Just
So I
run
think
with it.
there's two kinds of faith when you're talking about that, because what you're talking about is faith in self.
Yes.
But there's also faith in humanity, faith in the guides, or a divine being, or universe, or whatever that is for you, right? There's faith in something greater than self. And they kind of go hand in hand in my mind. So I remember we had a conversation around this at the time that you were doing your podcast contemplation, shall we say. And I was like, so what's holding you back? Like, what is the fear? It's the fear of judgment. Okay. You and I channel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So is that about, so when you do your speaking, are you channeling? And I believe you said yes. I believe I channeled. I didn't really, we don't think about it when we're on here. We just kind of allow it to come through. And I said, so first of all, is that really you then? So why are you judging you? And are the divine beings that we channel, are they full of love, right?
Yeah.
And you said yes. And I said, so would they do what's not for your highest good, right? Because even if we make a mistake, it's often for our highest good. So it would create, say you did something, you misspoke, and it brings something up for you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it triggers somebody else's thing, which could be, but is that for their highest good? Maybe. Did it help them to learn? Probably. So how are we to know what is for the highest good of everyone? Right? I mean, it's one thing to do, and I'm not advocating going out and speaking willy-nilly and not, saying all sorts of negative stuff. But if you're going out with the intention of sharing compassion and love in a genuine conversation, then is that not something that you can trust in?
Mm.
And I think that was kind of the gist of the conversation that we had in a nutshell.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Who are we to judge ourselves on what is right and what is wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Because we really don't know, like you mentioned, who is it going to impact and how? And maybe it was a predestined error so that someone can see it and say, aha, that was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. Thanks for coming.
So,
because really that's part of faith as well.
Yeah.
Is trusting in something greater, sort of guiding conversations and guiding outcomes.
Absolutely.
terms of that. And so when you take, and that's not to say that we shouldn't be accountable for our actions, because we are accountable for our actions and reactions. That is our responsibility. So I'm not putting that off in any way.
Mhm.
But I do think that sometimes there are things that happen for a bigger reason.
Absolutely. And which is, you bring it a good point, is that you don't go unprepared to make an error thinking that it could be for someone. It's like going on a road trip and all you can see are billboard. They're all signs for me. It's not like that. It's actually preparing yourself, doing the best you can, doing 100, giving 110% of what you can. And the outcome is the outcome.
Mhm.
And it's not for us to judge. And also, you pointed out the faith of not only ourselves but our higher beings and our guardian angels, our guides, and
Mhm.
whatever you please. If you have faith in all of this in the process of life as in general, then there's nothing to be fear of, because it all stems from a drive of love towards a greater purpose on display or on display.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's interesting how a small little thing could drive us or propel us to a greater success. And I just want to define what a success is before we move forward. And then people think that a success is achieving something at the end of the day, if it's monetary or non-monetary. So let's go with a definition. A success for me is doing what you're doing without what do you call it? Doing what you're doing without having without I can get it right.
It's
So
okay.
I'm definitely I'm definitely wrong. So let me
But what is right and wrong? We come back to that.
it is karma yoga, which is the concentrated action, doing what you want to do without looking at the fruit of your outcome. See, focusing on what you're doing is the success.
Yes.
Being in the moment and doing what you do for what you're doing. It's like us being right here, right now, doing it out of love for this moment to pass on a message for someone that wants to listen, or maybe for nobody, but we're doing it openly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not doing it to get our paycheck or to win something at the end of the day. And for that is a success. If you're doing it for an end result, even if you achieve the end result at the end, in my view, there's a lot of negative energy and poisoning of our immediate surrounding in order to achieve that.
Okay.
I'll pass it on to you and I'll see your feedback and we'll go from there.
I think poison's a bit of a strong word. I could see a density around that. Um, what was coming for me
I
was,
hit anybody on the head and now I can't poison. What is this?
I know. I'm just a big meanie. I'm limiting you. So you don't have to listen to my boundaries. um, yeah, the word that was coming up there was expectation.
Mm.
So when you have an expectation of an outcome and it doesn't live up to that expectation, we feel it's not success. So I think the journey in that is looking at where we get our expectations from. And are they serving us at this time? So you can expect all sorts of things from people around you, but there's factors involved there. Are they actually capable of living up to those expectations? Is it the right time for them to live up to those expectations?
Mm.
You know, is it the right person to live up to those expectations. So there's all those factors involved. And, that could be the same for you. So I expect myself to get, I don't know, 2 documents written today. Okay, is that realistic? So we could go into SMART goals where that's concerned, right? And do SMART goals serve us in terms of our journey? Because I think they serve us in terms of business, but then it depends on your intention with the business, right? Because when I say they serve us with business, we're talking about expectations. We're talking about, your quality indicators, your key performance indicators and that stuff. So it serves us in that. And oftentimes it serves in pushing your business forward on a day-to-day basis. But can we look at success differently than with numbers? And is the number a fair expectation of us, of our employees, of our team, whatever that work expectation is?
See, I mentioned that before, is that I work in a big corporation, and there are key targets that we have to achieve every month, every quarter, and so on. In the old days, I used to stress in order to get to that target. Today, I do 110% of what I can. And if I achieve that target, it's a good thing. If I don't, it's still a good thing, because I performed at 110%. So I'm not looking at the target and missing the work, or stressing on the target while I'm doing work. I'm doing my work at 110%. And then from there, an outcome will come.
Mm-hmm.
And I might meet it or not. It all depends on different factors. There's certain things that you can't control within the corporate world, and it is what it is, and then you have to live with it. But if I did not give 110%, I failed.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
Where does that 10% come from?
Oh, that's, you do what you can do at a max, and you add to it by being centered and focused on what you're doing. Sorry, it was dark in here, so I just turned off the light. Yeah, that's where the 10% comes from. So you do your work,
Mm-hmm.
and you center yourself to be present with whatever you're doing, that you're doing at 110%. But in reality, you can't go over 110. You can give to the maximum of your capability,
Right.
which is your 100%.
And your 100% today might not be the same 100% as tomorrow.
Absolutely, because it all depends on multiple factors again.
Mm-hmm.
The weather could be one of them.
Yes. The energy could be another, as we've all found out this week.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Oh, the weekend and the beginning of this week, energy was intense. Today we're in we're in a portal, of course, right? For manifestation today. You've got your, it's a 5 of 5. We've got a portal. And so, if you're looking at manifesting, guys, today's a good day. Set out your intentions. Yeah, but on Saturday, we had the new moon, and we had a solar eclipse, both of which bring really, like, new moon's not usually bad on its own, but solar eclipse with it, eclipses are like chaotic energy. And I don't know about you, but I was feeling chaotic. It felt like everything was, I did not have control this weekend. I was just riding along the process.
So your output was less than 100%, but 100% to that particular period of time.
Yes. It is not what it might be today, for instance.
Today it will be 200% of what it was 2 days ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I wasn't doing my best that day.
Yeah.
Those days, right? I did the best that I was capable of those days. And I think that's where we need to be forgiving. And that's where we really have to watch our expectations of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because we tend to expect, we have one really like stellar day, and then we expect all of them to be that way.
Yeah.
And that's where we start to fall into that self-deprecating kind of inner talk, right? Oh,
Yeah, we always want
so
to
much
be.
better the day before. Why
But
couldn't I do that today?
we're, to put it in a good visual, we're like a heartbeat. It goes up and down and up and down, and as long as we're moving in that direction, we're good. The minute we continue going down or going up, there's something definitely wrong in the picture, and it's will be non-sustainable.
Yeah.
So you have to rise and relax and rise and relax.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So
sometimes that's putting yourself out of the comfort zone, but you don't want to be out of your comfort zone constantly because that's
yes,
stressful.
there are certain times where you just go full fledged at you get all your energies from everywhere in the universe, and it just like go bang bang bang. But you're right, this is not sustainable. You can do this for a couple of days, maybe if you're lucky you can do it for a week. Even if you can do it longer, it catches up to you.
Yeah.
It catches up to you. It manifests in different what do you call that, dis-ease within the body.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see, I think people's rate of burnout was
Yeah.
incredibly high. I'm not sure that it's quite as bad right now, but I think that if we're not careful on our re-entry back into, going out to work and being in a busy state, we could fall into that easily again. Some of us have been busy all the way through and still, going busy and having to really always reevaluate. I know I've had 2 burnouts when I was in management, and slow learner. But I start to know the symptoms now, and I'm like, okay, good to know. All right, time to take a day off. Right, when you start to be able to read yourself a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I think it's not just the work part that you just mentioned is getting back into the workforce. It's also the getting stuck in traffic for a period of time during the day, going to work, coming back.
Really?
But thank God, most companies right now are what do you call it? Going on a hybrid, which
Yeah.
makes it easier. So you can do 2-3 days at work, 2 days at home, and so forth. So it kind of eases the pain a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And not that if you're at home, you're not doing work. You're at home, you do more than what you do at the office.
Yeah.
But you're at a more relaxed environment, so you don't have to stress by sitting in traffic in the morning and in the afternoon. And you say these truth. Hey, you're welcome.
I just have Facebook user on there.
Yeah, it's Jacqueline.
Oh, it's Jacqueline. Okay.
So, well, I wanted to talk about something else, but I will hold it in my thoughts. I'll forget about it, but well,
If it's meant to come out, it'll come out.
no, I was going to bring up imagination now, and then we'll see. Imagination and faith kind of go hand in hand, because if you cannot see yourself in a place doing something, if you can't see you with that thing, with your desire, it's just kind of won't manifest, and it's like, let me go do my job. And is it 5? Is it 5? Is it 5? It's only 8:05. You looked at your clock 10 times. So, so to imagine yourself in the situation that you want to be in drives it. It drives it from an energetical point of view, and I want to go through that rather than from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it eases your expectation. It kind of clarifies what you want and what you don't want in that situation. It gives you the option prior to getting yourself into it to make the right decision on what you want.
So
It's
is it
like
fair to say it brings clarity?
major clarity. Absolutely. if you're buying your new house or your first house, your second house, whatever it is, we don't jump into the market to get something. We design what we're looking for. Oh, I need a laundry room that has a space to do this. I need 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms, and uh, I like the open concept. I like the closed concept. So you design what you're looking for, and then you go out and the funny part is that if you design it very very well and it's well charged,
Yeah.
it just pops.
Hmm.
It just pops, and the universe goes, here it is. This is what you're looking for, right? And you go, oh yeah, minor mods here and there. It's not a big deal. I can live with that.
Yeah.
And then you get it. The clarity is a very important part. Once you have that, you have you become your faith gets stronger. Even it
Hmm.
gets stronger with yourself and with whoever is kind of guiding you to get there.
Well, and I think faith in yourself and in the process of doing that comes the more you have successful outcomes. So it brings us full circle.
Mm-hmm.
When I say successful, because I mean, there's a fine line there because you're putting it out there as an expectation. That is what manifesting it is. It's like putting it out there as an expectation. But I think it's the energy that you bring to it that's different.
True. I agree, because it's not really an expectation where you get disappointed.
Right.
It's your own design for a manifested outcome.
So it's something you'd love,
Yes.
but not a I need.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes, yes. It's a good point. It's a good point. It's not I need. I need that that ends in disappointment usually.
Yeah.
Because after 2 days I don't need it anymore.
Are we fickle? We like to change our mind about what we need. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
once
what?
we gather, yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying once we gather all these things and we're like kind of like in it, then we plan to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is in my example is that once I have um, designed my new home or new house, because it's not a home yet, it's a building. Once I designed it, I plan to get it. So basically, I take the right steps. Basically, finding the right what is that agent to find the house, getting the mortgage approved, pre-approved. I don't know, getting my documents in order, talking to the bank, talking to others, and then opening up for me to get into the market to find my vision that is waiting for me. And it's funny. No, it's not funny. Nothing is funny. Everything is just perfect.
Sometimes it's funny. Funny is good.
um, Back in the days, I was, how old was I? I can't remember. Anyways, in my mid-20s, maybe, or something like that. Anyways, I was living in Lebanon. There was war. We didn't have we didn't have books about anything, actually. We didn't have internet. By the way, for those people for the new generation who doesn't know what type of phones we had, it was with a long cord that you can walk from the kitchen to another room. That was the extent of where you can move with a phone. Anyways, and you couldn't send text right away, and you couldn't either search or Google anything with
You
that
might
phone.
even have had to have done this.
Oh yes,
Remember.
the rotary. So there was a period of time we were displaced and living somewhere else, and at night I would just, when we turn off the candles because we didn't have electricity, um, I would just imagine, and I didn't know the power of imagination, what it can do. I would imagine myself in North America. I would create a home, a house. I would create my car. I would create my job. And every night, and so on and so forth, this picture started to get bigger. It started to get brighter. It has started to become in color. And I wasn't sure what I was doing, but it's just a dream per se, because, hey, there's nothing I could do. That we don't have TV, we don't have electricity, we don't have nothing. And I have my dream faculty, so I use that on a nightly basis to project myself out of that situation into somewhere else. With time, I manifested my movement from Lebanon to Canada. It manifested. It was so strong. The picture was there, everything was there, and things started happening in the right moment. Somebody comes over. I'm going to Cyprus. You want something from there? Well, get me an application, since everybody's applying to Canada. Why not? So I filled up the application. I can't send it because we didn't have mail. And then somebody else going, oh, I'm going there. Oh, here's the application. Could you please drop it? And I got the I got the call to go for an interview. And a week before my interview, they ended the Pope came out and said, don't take the Christians from Lebanon and blah, 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 all these beautiful things. And they stopped the program. So I got to Cyprus. I went to the hotel that night, and there were a bunch of people in the hotel, and everybody got rejected. Don't go, don't waste your time, don't waste your money, blah, blah, blah. So I go, oh, no. I came over here. There's like 2 streets down. I'm going to the embassy. I'll get my visa tomorrow, and that's it. And it wasn't, I don't remember it to be, oh my God, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. I was like, whatever, I'm going there, I'm going to get it. I went to the embassy, did my interview, had my interview with the Quebec guy. I don't speak French well, and at that time it was easy. Take a book, read it, and translate it, and I did that. It was no problem. And he goes, Bienvenue au Quebec. I was like, what just happened? When I left his office, I tripped. I was so excited. I tripped. I scraped my knee. And then I did the medical, and everything was all around the embassy. Within 24 hours, everything was done, and I went home. And I got my visa within, I can't remember, 6 months or something. I can't remember the time frame. But it was the easiest thing that I've ever done during that period of time, when everybody else was blocked. So the faculty of imagination and the desire to achieve something and having faith in the whole process of the universe, it just propels you to the right direction.
So where did you get your faith during that time?
This is the thing. I've always had strong faith. I had a connection to something that I did not know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I never related to organized religion, although I was living in a Christian area, 100%. We were pure Christians. We were like, cocooned. And there was churches, like really, in our neighborhood, there's one across, one in the back, one on top, one. It's like worse than, well, over here in Quebec, we call them dépanneurs. It's like those convenience stores. They're everywhere, and churches were everywhere. But I couldn't relate. For some reason, I couldn't relate with it. And but there was something strong within me that said, there's something out there. And it's there. I know it. I feel it. It protected me on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm.
But until the internet came and we started seeing the new age sweeping through North America, it's like, oh my God, this is what I've been feeling, or I was able to relate to it very, very, very quickly. And it was so strong that somebody says a word, I go Google it, and I read like 500 pages on the internet from different perspective about the same topic. It's just like I needed to acquire all the information.
Yeah.
And all of it at once. But you can't drink all this water all at once, you choke. So You take it a bit at a time.
Exactly. As it gets presented.
Yes, absolutely.
So that brings up a good topic, side topic. Spirituality versus religion.
Yay, my favorite. Go ahead.
So my personal feeling is that we all have a need to connect to something greater than ourselves, right? We all have a need to have faith in something, like we've been talking about. Some people need different tools to do that. And they can be anything, right? I think that that's where we need to be open and compassionate to the fact that everybody needs different tools. And when I say tools, some people need meditation. Some people need religion of some sort. Some people need community. They're all just different tools that we use to help us feel connected to something greater than ourselves.
And I fully agree with you regarding that. Religion got a bad rep recently, but I still believe that what you said is absolutely, I support it 100%. Each one of us needs something, and we cannot be the judge and the juror on what is the right thing for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So a meditation for one person could be half an hour in church for another, because it's another form of meditation.
It is, of course.
Saging at home and smelling that sometimes the cheap awful incense at the church is the same thing. It's the same type of rituals in a different setting, and well, they're a bit different because each one does it in a different way. But at the end of the day, it is a path to the connection with whatever the connection you perceive it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I think, in the idealistic sense, it is about love. They're all about connecting to love in one way or another.
Absolutely. And as humans, we're wired to connect. We're wired to connect to something, and whatever that something is. And like you said, it is based out of love.
Yeah.
Not the need to receive it, but the need to
experience it.
Thank you. I like that word.
Yeah.
I was trying to look for a word. Yes, to experience it.
Yeah.
And
we have Shem. Hey, Shem.
Yeah, Shem said connect to nature, which is absolutely true. It's another form of doing that.
Yes.
Tree hugger.
Me too.
So I feel, and especially in spring and the summer, especially in spring when everything's coming back to life, and you hold the tree and you just, I don't want to say the word meditate, but you just drop everything. You can feel the energy flowing up and down within the tree. And that feeling is, oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. I feel it vibrate within my body. And that would be my best meditation ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the vibration of nature is divine, right? Shamina says it's all their connection to God's creation, right? They're all connected to God's creation. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all have a divine essence. All of us, all of nature, it all has divine essence. And we gain that vibration and divine essence from our interaction with each other, with nature, with the animals. We gain that feeling of connection in that way. So I think that connection is really what we are designed to do. Like you said, as humans, it's key for us. So.
And actually, another one is connecting to animals, which is
it's
the strongest ever, because dogs are they're pure love. They're just a fur ball of love that runs around and just like extremely excited and just to see you and just jump on you and lick you and then pee on the floor. But they can't control themselves.
I don't have a
But
lot of those in between emotions that are the subtleties. It's like fear or absolute joy and love.
so when you have an animal in the house, like a dog, for example, there's that. It's pure meditation if you sit with that animal in silence and like it's either sitting on your lap or whatever it's doing or playing with it. Just focusing on that is one of the most beautiful things ever, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a cat and the cat tells you when to pet her. Or
So, yeah.
please stay away. You're supposed to worship me. Just stay over there. When I want, I'll let you know.
They have strong boundaries, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. So some of us could learn from cats.
Like Eckhart Tolle said, I've lived with so many Zen masters, and they were all cats because they're all, don't touch me. When I'm done being with myself and the universe, I'll come and see you. Till
Yeah.
then, please, let's not chit chat.
I'm busy.
um,
Yes. Yes.
so, another decision and persistence are the two topics that are my favorite, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Decision is what stops us from doing everything that we want. Because when we decide, we're cutting something out of our existence. A decision is like a scissors. So you cut something out, and then you're not really sure what's going to happen. What if I wanted the chocolate instead of the vanilla? And dear Lord, and something's going to happen. And we kind of like start over analyzing a certain situation so that we do not make the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we take that decision out and we say we can go right or left, make a choice. A choice is not a decision. A choice is you just pick chocolate over vanilla and that's it. There's nothing. There's no evaluation. There's no thinking about it. There's just absolutely nothing. Chocolate, and I move forward. Well, I moved this way, but it's just you get over it and you forget what happened and you just made your choice and you move forward. A decision, a word in itself, kind of paralyzes us because of the right and wrong and the what if scenario. And a lot of people get actually held back with the what if scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Anxiety is really based on what ifs.
it's all what if, because a fear of missing out is strong.
Yeah.
So for me,
And
don't
fear
look
of
at
judge too comes into that. Because what if I make a choice that people judge me on?
yeah.
Does that make it wrong? Or does that make it a choice for me? Kind of come full circle there, right? It's about that.
It paralyzes. It paralyzes on multiple levels. But if we choose vanilla, we're done. We chose it, it's over. No one could come and tell you about chocolate could have been better for you. No, but I made a choice. That's it. There's nothing else. I choose vanilla. I did not choose chocolate. End of story. There's no debate. There's no discussion. There's nothing. You just hold your choice and you move forward with it.
What
The
happens
minute,
if I choose both?
no, if you have a choice of choosing one of, You can't go with both of them. You can't turn right and left at the same time.
2
Oh,
scoops.
well, you can, maybe. But
2 scoops.
2 scoops. So instead of paralyzing ourselves from moving forward, we change the spell that we have on ourselves that is holding us back. And that spell is called decision. Decide, break. No, no, no. I don't want any of these things. I make a choice how to move forward. You can have chocolate and vanilla. No, you can't.
Thanks, Shamina.
2 scoops.
See?
And a choice actually helps us in tons of things that we do in our lives. It's not only one particular thing. It's not about a job, a house, or anything, or clothing. It's anything. You see something, you pick it up, you walk away. I remember one time, well, not one time, I do that all the time actually. And I haven't been shopping in a very long time, but I walk into a store and I turn around and I see one shirt. There's hundreds. I go to that and I take it and I go, this is my size. I try it, I put it in a bag, and I'm out of the store.
You paid
But
for it
there,
in between, right? I'm just checking.
pardon?
You paid for it in between. I'm just
Yes,
checking.
yes, 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 of course. Otherwise, I'll be in handcuffs by now.
Yeah, that's why I was checking.
So I just do that, and there are thousands of other or hundreds of other shirts on racks within that store, and hundreds more
YouTube.
around in the stores around that store. But it's a choice. I see something, I like it, I take it, I walk away, and it's over. I don't look back. I don't look, oh my God, it's on special somewhere. No, it's just sit, tick, and leave. Oh,
Thanks,
she had to
Shem.
leave.
Yeah, she had to leave. That's why I was interrupting.
Oh, so you made the choice
Of love.
by leaving. Thank you.
Yes, so what's coming to me, the distinction between the two,
Mm,
I feel as though choice is made by your intuition, and decision is when you get the ego or the brain involved.
true. True.
Yeah. And intuition can be heart-based. We have we have brain cells in our stomach, in our heart, and in our head, right?
Hmm.
Intuition comes into the stomach first, your gut reaction. So making a choice, the way you're describing it is, my gut reaction is I want that shirt.
And
My gut
that's it.
reaction is I want chocolate.
Yeah.
If I actually think about it, maybe vanilla is a better choice because, it's not as messy. But is it really what I want? Right?
Now you're going back into the second floor to analyze and make a decision on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't go to the next floor and you keep it all down here, it's easy to flow.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to flow. So this is one thing that I found in this book that I would change, and that's the word decision, and make it into a heart-based choice rather than to break something, because we all have this. We all have this. What if something happened? What if I go on the right and then the left was much better? What if, and we kind of like paralyze ourselves most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. Which brings me to the persistent part, which is the good part. Doing things regularly, which is the persistent part, brings in, well, first of all, it puts it in your auric field. You're charging it with energy every time because now you're thinking about it. because you have to do it. It's like our show every week. We still have to do it. And we tend to, okay, so what are we doing this week? Oh, love. Pillar of success. Get them, put them in the auric field, but it's not the title that goes into the auric field. It's the whole process that goes in the auric field. 7:30, I'm going to go in. I'm going to press the stream, restream thingy, make sure it's going to get correct, adjust so I'm doing a process. It's a ritual.
Yeah.
I'm doing a ritual every week. And then after I finish my ritual, I'm opening up the channel to the universe. Doing that weekly, one, gives me more faith about myself. I'm not worried now about anybody talking about me. Well, I'm sure they do, but that's not the point.
It's a bad thing.
No.
Maybe it's a good thing that they're talking about you.
It's absolutely a good thing. So persistence comes with a huge flow, a push. It comes with a push and keeps you on the right track. You're not going to miss out on Thursdays because you want to go out drinking with your buddies. Thursdays,
Oh,
you have a call. Thursdays, you have a call. So you dedicate all your energy towards that particular goal and you continue working with it. And that's the beauty of those pillars that what's his name, Napoleon Hill brought up. And of course, there's a couple of other things in there that maybe we didn't touch on, but that's okay. I think.
So what are the 4 pillars then? There's 4, right?
Well, he has 8 in total, but desire, faith, autosuggestion, which we put the autosuggestion and the faith together. The specialized knowledge. If you don't have knowledge in what you're doing, you're not going to go for it. That's an obvious. Imagination is part of your desire also, because you have to put it in your auric field, which brings you to planning, decision, and persistence.
So if you look at alchemy, we can connect alchemy to this, in that what's the first couple? Imagination, inspiration.
There's imagination, persistence, autosuggestion, faith, desire.
Okay. So I think that imagination would be related to fire. It's that inspiration. Okay. And when we look at the body alchemy, we have fire at the top, and it's like shoulders to about a foot above your head. It's represented by a triangle. And that's like inspiration. So you've got divine inspiration coming in. Okay. The next one would be air, from your shoulders to your hips would be air. So what would that be related to? That would be like your brainstorming, your faith aspect.
That would be part of your specialized knowledge and persistence, where you have to sit and put things together in a proper way.
Yeah. Okay. And then we've got water, which is planning.
Water is planning?
I think so.
Okay.
Because you're putting those barriers around it. You're planning. So you're putting barriers for the water to flow through.
I like that.
Planning the flow of the work. And then you get to earth. And earth is about grounding it in, which is about your daily ritual.
So persistence would be the earth. And the desire should be the fire, because that's where it all starts from.
Yeah, that's right. Desire for inspiration. So desire.
Yeah. And your air would be your auto-suggestion and your knowledge kind of thing. Because it's a flowing type of I'm sorry. I'm not sure we talked about auto suggestion per se, so I'm not sure if we if the listeners knows that term. An auto suggestion is when you convince yourself of doing something. You repeat it over and over and over again, and that repetition solidifies in your mind the plan for it.
So we kind of talked about that in terms of your vision board is
Yes.
part of that.
Yes.
Your mantras for it, or your repeating
Mhm.
phrases that you might have, would be part of that. So
Mantra is a good one,
mhm,
because this is your daily mantra.
mhm.
So what would air be? Would it would be that, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a specialized knowledge. I have to
It's
write them.
kind of like, in the way I see it, is like your immediate desire or inspiration is fire. The air is where you're like collecting the ideas, you're brainstorming, you're trying to, right? You're trying to bring all of it into one space. And then your water is where you're trying to give it the boundaries to flow properly. So you're giving it flow. And then to implement it
It's the
is
decision.
is
Yeah.
is the persistence, the ritual of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because imagination and auto suggestion will be in the same bucket of air.
Yes, I would say that would be air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I think we covered it very well. It was an awesome thing.
That's the alchemy of project planning.
The alchemy
The
of
concept I'm working on.
So sometimes we do get things that happen extremely well, extremely fast, from from an idea to implementation. It comes like very fast. Sometimes all of these points that we have over here, all the alchemy, just flows, and you're there.
Mhm.
And there are times where it actually requires a bit more effort to get it. Now, one of the good things that we have is we look at people, like we look at athletes, for example. They can break world record, and oh yeah, that's nothing. But we can't see the amount of work and effort that they put in until it achieved it to that point, until he was able to bring himself or herself to that point of success. So we see the end result and we go, okay, well, let's do it. Oh, yeah, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Understand? Okay, let's look at some. Ooh, there's a shiny object over there, and then we'll tend to forget about this one. And this is where we actually fail. This is where we fail. We don't fail if we don't achieve the final result, but we keep on doing or modifying our path to get there. That's pure success, because that's where your building blocks gets into the picture.
Mhm.
Jumping from one thing to another, on the other side, on the other hand, makes you a jack of all trade and master of none.
Master of none. Yeah. Because we
So
don't have the practice, we don't have the persistence.
no, we don't. We don't. And one of the things of mediumship is that everybody wants to be a medium overnight, and they go take a course and they go online and they start working as a medium, when mediumship is a process, is a lifetime process. You
Mhm.
have to go through all these things. You have to do all your training. You have to give out hundreds of hours of readings to others in order to solidify your knowledge and your connection to spirit.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you're not working on your own. It's not you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not you. You're just being the medium, sitting in between two souls, and information is flowing not in English, not in your native language, in some kind of a language. It's more like a puzzle. It's a 5,000 piece puzzle, and you have one piece. It means absolutely nothing. And with time, and that's why you need to work a lot on it to be able to call yourself a psychic medium or an energy healer or a crystal master or whatever it is. These things do take time, and we do have to invest time in whatever we're doing in order to achieve our desired outcome.
Well, and it's ongoing, right?
Yeah.
I always say, people that tell me, like, well, I'm always doing my work. Let's put it that way. We're always working on ourselves. We're always working through our own stuff. I mean, I'm quite open about, like, this weekend was crazy. My experience about the energy and stuff, because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing about masters, is that they're always learning. It's a lifelong learner thing. That's mastery. It's not about achieving something in particular.
I like that. Yeah.
It's about being and committing to be a lifelong learner in whatever your field is, and committing to receiving guidance. And in our field, it's often spiritual guidance, right?
Yes.
But we have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to channel.
Yeah.
Which means that we have to take care of ourselves. We have to do our own work. We have to do our own healing stuff. We have to get to know ourselves, because that's the only way that we can take out our filters when we're doing this work. Your filters are like your wounding, right? And you have to be able to remove them, even if it's only temporary while you're doing the client. You have to be able to remove them. The only way to remove them is to actually be aware of them.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is the journey. Working at being aware. Half of being smart is knowing what you're dumb at. And sometimes we can be pretty dumb at ourselves.
Yeah.
In terms of not knowing ourselves. How do we figure out who we are? We ask ourselves the tough questions. And we delve into authentic conversations, much like this one.
Absolutely. And actually, you bring in a good point. And I think last episode, you asked me a question, how do you rebuild yourself? And I said, one grain at a time with love. But that's more of a general 10,000 foot type of answer. And if I want to go, and I thought about it, I go, oh, maybe somebody needs to hear this, and I should have went deeper into it. And I thought we'll bring it up again tonight. Is we're not a vase that is broken, and then we sit lovingly and putting the piece together. Analyzing ourselves is the key to what we do. And if we don't do, we regress on a daily basis.
For me, it's not about analyzing. For me, it's about self-reflection. There's a difference there in analyzing. For me, it has a bit of a, and this is just my connotation of the word. For me, analyzing has a bit of a, like, it's an expectation piece.
Yeah. I like it. It's like decision and a choice.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah, it's the word.
It's a self-reflection versus an analyzing of right or wrong. Yeah. So it's not a judgment, it's a self-reflection.
It is a self-reflection. And then we tend to, we have to look at it from that point and correct where it requires. And when I say correct, it's not like there's something wrong with whatever we're doing, is that if we do not adjust on a daily basis to grow, to change within the environment that we're living in, we regress. And with regression comes death of the soul itself. I mean, not the body is not going to die just because you regress. There are 7 billion people on the planet, and not 7 billion people are going through this reflection. But if you go through that process then you stop at certain moments within your life and you go, I see now. I give the love and affection to that situation, to the person that I conflicted with, forgive myself for allowing of this moment to be charged with negative emotion, releasing all of that, loving the whole moment together. And guess what? The whole moment disappears. It's just like it came out. Like I still have something over here. It came out. And it's a process. It's not something that I decide to take off my suit this morning and put a new suit on and I'm fine. It's a quilt.
Yeah.
It's one piece at a time. It took me 50 years to get destroyed. It ain't gonna take me 5 minutes to change. It's a process. And I take my process um, in a loving manner because you think, or at least I think, I cleared my whole, whatever baggage that I've carried all over the years. And then here I am walking down the street and somebody looks funny at me and I was like, yes, son of, oh, wait a second. What just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then a new piece surfaces.
Yeah.
And then we do the work.
That's
And
why we're never really done.
No. And that's why it's a journey. It's a quilt that you build throughout the lives. And you make it beautiful every time.
Yeah.
And the more you heal, the more, what do you call them? Those squares for the quilt. I don't know what
Patches.
So the more of these that you heal, the lighter it becomes.
Yeah.
And the more easy life becomes.
Yeah.
You vibrate at a higher energy, and triggers would be much less. And if you're like Eckhart Tolle, I don't think anything fizzes that bad.
Yeah.
Which he did a great job saying that he mentioned during all his talks is that he was a very depressed person. And I think they moved into a new home or something, a new apartment. His mother took him there, and he looks at their scaffold. He goes, "Oh, that's great. At least if I want to jump, I can run up the scaffold and just throw myself on the floor." That's how bad it was for him. And with the act of God, he just flipped, and from there he went on his journey. But he sat on the bench bark for a long time, winter and summer, until he actually was able to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And once he freed himself from the burden that he was carrying, and I highly doubt it's from this lifetime because it was very, very strong.
Yeah.
When he freed himself, the connection to the universe was stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and his books were channeled.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite authors, as you know, as you can tell. Yeah.
What's interesting about what you said about the scaffolding is that he was able to be grateful because he had gratitude for having it there in his depressed state. That's interesting because gratitude is a higher vibration emotion.
True.
So just by having that in and of itself, he started his journey that way because it really is a start to the journey.
Mm-hmm. True. I didn't think of it this way, but this is it's a good point that you bring up. Very good point.
It's a hint to the future for him. What do they call that? Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So getting to the end of our discussion tonight. I just want to, since we're talking about lighter things, I just want to just bring in something. Um, as you shed the old and you move into the new and you become lighter and you're able to connect better, it's not only connection to higher being, it's not only connection to whatever it is that you believe in, but it's also the connection to other humans. I don't know how to explain this. It's your connection to the collective
Mm-hmm.
becomes stronger. I think that's a better word. So your connection to the collective becomes stronger, and your intuition jumps tenfolds.
Mm-hmm.
Tenfolds. And I find that with time, I know things are happening before they happen. Hi,
Hi,
Sandra.
Sandra. Thanks for joining us.
So I find that with time, I started to know things before they happen. It's not psychic, it's intuition.
Mm-hmm.
It's the connection with the collective, and it just happens. It happens to all of us. But we're too busy battling all the stuff that we carry with us.
And doing all that stuff for other people instead of ourselves,
Yes,
and living up to other people's expectations.
absolutely. That
Making
really helps.
decisions
Actually,
instead of choices.
you should try it one day. It is really, really good to live somebody else's life. It is really good. It's the easiest thing, the most beautiful thing that you can ever be. Be someone else. Not true.
I was going to say, why would I want to be?
It is the hardest thing of putting yourself at a level of non-stop comparison and criticism
Yeah.
of not being up to the standard of the person that you're evaluating yourself to. That is
And
the hardest.
we don't ever, the reason I said, why would I want to be, is because we never know all of the information. So when we go to put ourselves in somebody else's, if we were to be somebody else for a day, we might really not like it, because there's a lot of stuff we don't know about people.
True.
And you would find out an awful lot of stuff. You know, most people put their best foot forward when they're in public.
They're like on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at my beautiful plate. I ate this today. Really, what happened until I got there? All that happy face and beautiful smile and all of that.
Yeah.
You don't know what was behind it. Um, one episode of Oprah Winfrey, she showed herself at the beginning of her career sitting and acting like Barbara Walters. She was, that's a Barbara way of sitting. That's a Barbara. And she put herself on a very hard journey. Plus, coming from a black woman, coming from in the States, it wasn't easy breaking into television.
Mm-hmm.
So she found that this person could be the right fit for her. So she started to follow her. And at one point in time, she dropped it and she became famous
Mm-hmm.
because then it's her that came out.
Yeah.
And her beauty was stronger than anything in the world, that she was able to create an empire.
Yeah.
In that time frame, a huge empire.
And she's never put herself out as being perfect.
No.
She's authentic. So she's a great example of authenticity leads to success, right?
That's true.
Not
Thank you.
perfection.
Thank you. Yeah. Beautiful. So Guys, we're coming to an end, and I said this twice, but I had to speak more.
We get
I can't
told.
twice.
Yeah.
But it's coming to an end. We have one more episode of Open Mic, which is next Thursday, and then we'll take a break for the summer. Please do keep in mind June 12th, pencil it in, make sure it is, you don't have anything on that day.
1 to 5.
Pardon?
1 to 5, right?
1 to 5. Yeah. It just gives you time to get up on Sunday morning.
Us too.
Yeah, I'll do. So, except the people on the East Coast.
Yeah. Well,
The West Coast, sorry. Yeah, they have to get up early. Well, too
True.
bad for
y'all got
So-
told.
yeah. Yeah, Jackie.
Yep. We got told.
So please do keep it in mind. We're all going to be there. We're going to be.
Did you announce it? Because last week you were keeping it as a surprise to this week. So would you like to
I
announce?
actually didn't. Oh, I didn't. Okay, yeah. You're welcome, Stan. I forgot. Okay, so it is. What is it, anyways?
It's a symposium. We're having a symposium on live on Facebook, YouTube, all of our channels. So it's all the teachers with Twila Lifestyle Academy. We're all going to be coming on speaking about 4 different topics that are hot topics for everybody. So there's like career and finance, romance, emotional well-being, and physical well-being, I believe. And we've got experts in all of those areas. All of the teachers are coming in to add their beautiful knowledge and wisdom. And we'll be doing some questions and panel discussions about some of those topics. And hopefully we'll have time for questions from you guys as well. And yeah, so stay tuned. There's more to come, more information to come. There'll be, we'll be sending out more info, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be. Please check the twillalifestyle.ca. You can check my Facebook also, and my page, Awaken to Your True Self. It's here live. Yes, it is, Carol.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there's going to be 8 of us speaking in our different areas. So great.
It's going to be awesome.
Am I forgetting anything? I'm sure.
No. I don't think you forgot anything. I forgot everything, but you did remind me. Thank you very much. And thank you all. Awesome. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Like I said, there's one more episode for Open Mic, and next season is going to be interesting. So stay tuned for more announcement on our different programs, different teachings. You can check out the twillalifestyle.ca for our whatever we're
classes and events.
For all our classes and events. I do apologize. It's almost 9 o'clock, so it's okay. And
we're just coming out of our chaotic eclipse energy. That's all.
Yeah. So thank you all, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great evening.
Lots of love.
Yeah. Before we leave. All right.